What is a major factor in determining the price of a house? Well, one of those things is the exterior materials. It's not just the square footage and the location. It's what the house is made of. The three little pigs knew that it was important. I'm your realtor, David Locke with Locke and Key Associates in Anderson, South Carolina. And of course, brick has very low maintenance and is one of the most expensive materials. It's one of the most expensive materials to build a house of, and so it translates to the value of the house. It also is something that weathers beautifully. There are houses that are 200 and 300 years old made of brick that look better today than they did when they were first built. So let's take a look at some of the other materials and finishes that you see on the exteriors of homes. With the increasing cost of brick, one material we're increasingly seeing is hardy board. Hardy board is actually a brand name. It's really cement board or concrete board, and what's wonderful is it looks like wood. It has a wood grain in it, and it can be painted like wood, looks just like wood, but you don't have to worry about termites and rot. It does periodically have to be painted, and so that is one limitation when compared to brick, is that every 10 or 20 years or so, you're going to have to paint it. Another material that has actually received bad press over the last decade or two is EIFS, or stucco. EIFS stands for Exterior Insulation Finishing System, and it's not true stucco. True stucco is a plaster-like material that is applied over top of brick, and EIFS is actually over top of a styrofoam material with a little bit of a concrete mixture. If it leaks around the window sills, or if it comes into contact with soil and water gets behind the stucco, it can rot the sheathing of the house. Some houses, especially in Florida, have had to be completely demolished that were covered in EIFS. It's a great finishing system, but you just want to make sure that the person who's installing it knows what they're doing. And if you're purchasing a house covered in EIFS or stucco, you want to make sure that it's thoroughly tested. One of the benefits is you can easily pressure wash it. Another exterior material we see from time to time is good old-fashioned wood. But if a house is incredibly old, you do have to know that paint can build up on this surface, and it can require very expensive scraping, sanding, and repainting. And with wood, you're constantly having to repaint it. So you do need to think about if you can replace the wood with something that is a bit more low maintenance. That might be something to think about. But believe it or not, we still do see houses, especially older houses and vintage houses, that are the good old-fashioned wood. Last but certainly not least is aluminum or vinyl siding. And aluminum and vinyl siding are the least expensive, but require the least amount of upkeep. You can easily pressure wash them, you can Clorox them, and they clean up beautifully. But they are the least expensive, and thus, when your house is sided, you do have to know that will affect the resale value of the house. Again, I'm your realtor, David Locke with Locke and Key Associates in Anderson, South Carolina.